What's poppin' peeps, it's Jet. We have finally reached the conclusion of My Hero Academia's Paranormal Liberation War Arc. This arc was fantastic from start to finish and is arguably the best arc not only in My Hero Academia but in current Shonen Jump. Today's video we will rank the top 10 moments of the Paranormal Liberation War Arc. If you guys like the video, make sure to United States of a smash the subscribe button, turn on the bell so you never miss another upload. Vanishing fist, that like button, comment, and share. But without further ado, let's get into the video. Coming in at number 10 is the Kurigiri twist reveal. This moment took place from chapters 254 to 255. What better way to kick off the list than with the moment that kicked off the war arc, that being the reveal that Kurigiri is Obro Shirakumo. This moment earns its spot on the list because of its role in the arc. First, Shirakumo's hint of hospital was the one that the heroes needed for them to go on the offensive and attack the villains. Second, it greatly fueled Aizawa and President Mike's actions during the war, where President Mike broke the containment tube for Shigaraki and Aizawa did his best to contain the loose Shigaraki, even going as far as to cut off his leg when it was hit with a quirk-destroying bullet. It might have added Aizawa cutting off his leg made him even more badass. And third, Kurigiri not only being a Nomu, but a Nomu created from the corpse of Aizawa's high school friend was shocking. It came completely out of left field, but was also a good surprise nonetheless. But this moment does get knocked down a bit due to Shirakumo not being an established character in the main manga. If you were a Vigilantes reader, this moment might have had a bigger impact on you, but most people who read My Hero Academia don't read Vigilante, so they weren't fully exposed to the friendship of Aizawa, President Mike, and Shirakumo, but nonetheless, this moment earns its spot on the list. Coming in at number 9 is Midoriya unlocking his third quirk, Float. This moment took place in chapter 283. Back in chapter 257, we were told by All Might that the next quirk Midoriya would unlock is Float. As an audience, we knew that Float would be crucial when he faces off against Shigaraki, and even though we knew Midoriya would unlock Float, when the moment actually came, it still managed to shock us as it came at the absolute right time. Shigaraki at this point of the fight was gaining the upper hand against the heroes as Aizawa was passed out, allowing Shigaraki to use Decay. Just the way Midoriya rockets up into the air and uses Black Whip to not only grab the heroes, but also grab Shigaraki and then proceed to threaten him, made Midoriya look like an absolute savage. This moment is going to be amazing to watch in the anime. Midoriya unlocking Float at the specific time could be seen as convenient to some. I can understand that, but if there was any time for Float to be awakened, it would be when Shigaraki is about to nuke the floor. But nonetheless, this moment earns its spot on the list. Coming in at number 8 is Gigantamaki's escape from the mansion. This moment, or should I say event, took place from chapter 277 to chapter 280. This moment was epic in so many ways. We get to see the valiant effort of Mount Lady trying her best to stop Gigantamakia. No matter how many times Mount Lady was thrown aside, she kept getting back up. Mount Lady went from a very self-centered hero who only wanted fame to becoming a true hero during this event. We also get to see some highlights from students as well. Seeing the students trap Gigantamakia temporarily before he blows them all away with a single gust was pretty dope. Seeing Mina use her Acid Man super move for the first time was dope, and then watching Kirishima climb Gigantamakia and throw in the bottle of NyQuil into Gigantamakia's mouth was really hype. But arguably the star of this whole event was Momo. This event was the peak of Momo's character arc. We first see Momo go from a girl who lost her self-confidence all the way to now, where Momo came up with a plan that would eventually put the walking calamity down for a nap. If it wasn't for Momo, the fight at Jaku City would have turned out worse than it already was. But we can't forget about Gigantamakia, the main man. Gigantamakia was a natural disaster during this scene. Reading this event week to week was heart-racing as we saw our UA students step up and become real heroes, doing things that the pros couldn't even do. This event goes underappreciated as it interrupted the exciting fight back at Jaku City, but nonetheless, this moment earns its spot on the list. Coming in at number 7 is Miracle versus the 5 high-end Nomus. This event took place from chapter 261 to 262. Oh man, where do I start with this one? First off, this single fight turned a lot of people into Miracle stans, including myself. I mean, just look at all the fan art of her now. Miracle during this fight was a complete beast and showed us why she is a top 5 hero. It was heart-racing reading this moment week to week as we didn't know if our bunny girl waifu will make it out alive. It looks like certain doom for her when those 5 high-end Nomus came out, but Miracle stood her ground. The choreography in this fight was phenomenal and is arguably one of the best in the entire series. Miracle looks like a jackrabbit hopping all over the place. No pun intended. But watching Miracle go to absolute town on these Nomus really made the meathead in me happy. We really got a good look at Miracle as a character, as she's the type of hero to always go all out as she doesn't want to die with regrets, and at times during this fight, it looked like she might end up dying in that hospital basement. But Mirko refused to die as she went as far as to rip off her own arm as it was caught in a black hole quirk, which her doing this made me fall in love with her more. I know Mirko wasn't in the best shape after this fight, but I really hope we get to see more of her because Horikoshi struck gold with Mirko. This fight made Mirko a real star in the eyes of the fans and has earned its spot on this list. Coming in at number 6 is the awakening of Shigaraki. This moment took place in chapter 270 and then picks back up in 272. This moment was something special to witness. First, we get a showcase of Horikoshi's skills as an artist as we see the craziest panel in My Hero Academia with us stepping inside of Shigaraki's dream world. Like, come on, look at this panel, it's beautiful. As Shigaraki tries to leave the dream world and come back to life, the hands of his family members grab him and try to stop him, including Nana. But Shigaraki turns his back on them and returns to the living world. What makes Shigaraki's revival even more epic is that he wasn't resuscitated from the electrical shock, but it was from Shigaraki's will to live that caused him to wake back up. If that's not badass, then I don't know what is. And after waking up, Shigaraki's first words were, "I'm cold," as he would then proceed to send a single wave of decay, killing X-Less and Crust, causing the rest of the pro heroes to run for their lives, evaporating the hospital and multiple city blocks and catching other heroes and civilians. The only thing left after this single wave of decay was a single stump of the hospital. Shigaraki would even then put on X-Less's cape. Like come on, you can't get cooler than that. Shigaraki came out of this event cooler than he ever was before. This moment almost made it to the top 5 spot, but it was knocked down due to us being told that Shigaraki had no heartbeat and is perceived dead, but we all knew that he would wake up eventually. And reading this weekly, there was that awkward chapter of 271 where we saw Tokoyami face off against Dobby, but it didn't hurt how amazing this moment was, it just kind of made it a little bit wonky for a bit. But nonetheless, this event earns its spot on the list. Coming in at number 5 is Hawks vs Twice and Dobby. This moment took place from chapter 264 to chapter 266. Now we're in the top 5 with this amazing moment. Right after the heroes storm the mansion, we see Hawks corner Twice, ready to kill him. While Hawks was undercover, him and Twice became really good friends. So when Hawks stabbed Twice in the back, you felt bad for Twice because this is the second time that Twice was betrayed. Hawks betraying Twice broke our hearts as we thought that maybe these two friends wouldn't end up fighting each other, but that wasn't the case. Also during this scene, Hawks was portrayed as a villain while Twice was portrayed as a hero. It was a nice little role switch for the two. The audience could feel the pain Twice was feeling at this moment, and the way Hawks is depicted in the shadows and the way he mocks Twice for believing him just perfectly paints him as a bad guy. Even going as far as to flip the anime stereotype with the hero being saved last minute by an ally, with Dobby coming in to save Twice. But that wasn't enough as we see Hawks land the killing blow on Twice. This death was handled perfectly by Horikoshi and generally made people upset. I don't think many people predicted Twice dying in this arc either, which made this arc more impactful, which is why it's earned its spot on this list. Coming in at number 4 is Miro's surprise return. This moment took place in chapter 292. This came right after the surprise return of Best Genius, which I would have put on the list, but I feel like Miro's return was more deserving of a spot. But man, this moment was exciting and jaw-dropping. This moment came out of nowhere and threw everyone for a surprise. Some people might complain that Miro's return seems random, but if you remember back in 257, we were told that Aidsville and All Might will be helping every trainer quirk. Then we got the time skip to the war. So Miro getting his quirk back isn't as random as we thought. But besides that, Miro's return completely surprised everyone, including Midoriya. It was a great day seeing everyone get excited about the return of Miro. Miro is a very popular character and we all felt bad seeing him lose his quirk. So seeing him return just makes a lot of people happy. There's not much to say about this return, it was just a great surprise return that nobody expected. It's earned its spot on the list. Coming in at number 3 is Midoriya vs Shigaraki. This moment took place between chapter 284 to chapter 287. This was my favorite fight in the entire arc. You could include Shigaraki versus Endeavor or even Shigaraki versus the heroes in this spot. Actually, it will feel wrong to not mention those cool moments leading up to this. So Endeavor's Hell Curtain is cool. His Prominence Burn and Hell Spider combo was dope. Can't forget about Shigaraki standing on top of Endeavor and Ryukyu. And the Wyoming Smash was just really badass. But I'm gonna reserve this spot for Midoriya vs Shigaraki simply because it's a small sample of what's to come in the future. We see Midoriya going all out against Shigaraki, doing whatever it takes to take Shigaraki down. Watching Midoriya deliver a Detroit Smash, Wyoming Smash, St. Louis Smash, and even a Texas Smash all in rapid succession just made the meathead in me happy. Midoriya has never looked more like a savage than in this fight. Then it gets even cooler when the fight goes inside the Vestige world as All For One tries to steal One For All. But the Vestiges of One For All just give him the middle finger and say no. What makes the Vestige world portion so meaningful is that even with All For One calling Midoriya unworthy of the quirk, the Vestiges still tell him that Midoriya is the most deserving person of One For All. This fight was fantastic, and when it's animated, it's gonna be glorious. I can't wait for the rematch at the end of the series. There was no downsides of this fight, so it definitely deserves its spot on the list. Coming in at number 2 is Dobbys Reveal. This moment took place in chapter 290. In this moment, we get the long-awaited reveal that Dobby is Toya Todoroki. Oh man, was this moment phenomenal. First off, this reveal confirms the most popular fan theory in My Hero Academia of Dobby being the long-lost son of Endeavor and brother of Shoto. Fans were going absolutely insane when this was revealed. It felt so satisfying knowing that this fan theory is finally confirmed. This reveal was so big that it went trending all over Twitter. It was even outranking the 2020 US election on Twitter trends. That's insane to think about. But in the story, we see that Dobby did this reveal across the entire country, Japan, allowing for his siblings and mother to see as well. I can imagine how they felt after this reveal. I mean, my man Endeavor was so shocked that he didn't move for an entire 3 chapters. Just imagine being a regular civilian, hearing that the #1 hero's oldest son is a member of the League of Villains. Not only did Dobby reveal that Endeavor wasn't as good of a guy as he's made out to be, but he also exposed Hawks killing twice. My man Hawks got caught in 4K. How did they catch you in 4K? The icing on the cake is that Dobby reveals that his natural hair is white, similar to his siblings. And might I add, white hair Dobby looks so much better than black hair Dobby. This moment is arguably the most hyped part of the entire war arc. It definitely deserves its spot on the list. Coming in at number 1 is Bakugos Sacrifice. This moment took place in chapter 285, rightfully named Katsuki Bakugo Rising. I had a hard time deciding whether to put Dobbys Reveal or Bakugos Sacrifice in at the #1 spot, but I ultimately decided Bakugo deserves the #1 spot because he's the greatest character in My Hero Academia. But this moment was so good for many reasons. First, the lead up to this moment was great as we see Bakugo look up towards Midoriya, being the only one to know that Midoriya is in real danger. Realizing this, he figures he needs to do something fast. He takes Endeavor and Todoroki and flies up to Midoriya. We see Bakugo remember the talk with All Might. One For All is a cursed quirk, but it's done so much good for society, All Might, and Midoriya as it allowed Midoriya to pursue his dream of becoming a hero. Once up there, Endeavor grabs Shigaraki and unleashes a max power prominence burn. The plan almost works, but All For One takes over the body of Shigaraki. He goes to attack Midoriya, but Bakugo, without thinking, pushes Midoriya out of the way, taking the attack. This moment had my jaw dropped down to the floor. This moment was a great callback to earlier in the series as Bakugo had no thoughts in his head and his body moved on his own to save Midoriya, exactly like how Midoriya did for Bakugo. If you were to tell anyone at the beginning of the series that Bakugo, the same guy who told Midoriya to kill himself, would be the same person to sacrifice himself to save Midoriya, they would not have believed you. This moment was a culmination of Bakugo's phenomenal character development as being a guy who focused on fighting and winning to risking his life to save someone. Everyone was so shocked that it even went trending worldwide. This moment was just phenomenal and really cemented Bakugo as a true hero, and it definitely earned its #1 spot on the list.